The transport ship moved slowly through space toward the big metal station. Inside, Teeman looked out the small window at the spinning structure ahead. It was huge, with white and silver parts that caught the light from nearby stars. This was going to be his home for the next 3 months. "First time meeting aliens?" asked the pilot, a friendly woman with gray hair. "Yes," Teeman said. He was nervous but tried not to show it. "I've read all the files, but seeing them in person will be different," the pilot smiled. "The Velthari are nice people, very quiet and gentle. Just remember they're much smaller than us. And they get scared easily," Teeman nodded. He had studied everything about the Velthari for months. They were about 4 feet tall, with light blue skin that could glow. Their bones were thin like bird bones. Their males were very small and shy. The females were a bit bigger, but still tiny compared to humans. "Docking now," the pilot said. The ship shook a little as it connected to the station. Teeman picked up his bags and walked to the exit. When the door opened, he felt strange. For a moment. The gravity here was much lighter than on Earth. Each step made him feel like he might float away. A human officer met him at the dock. "Welcome to Border Station 7. I'm Captain Kim. You must be Teeman." "Yes, sir." Teeman shook the captain's hand. "Good. The Velthari team arrived yesterday." "They're getting used to the station." Captain Kim started walking. "Follow me. I'll show you to your room first, then we'll do the meeting." They walked through long white halls. The station was clean and quiet. Sometimes Teeman saw other humans, but no aliens yet. Everything felt light and floaty because of the low gravity. "Remember," Captain Kim said, "move slowly around them. Don't make loud noises, and try not to stand too close. They think we're giants." Teeman's room was simple but nice. It had a bed, a desk, and a small window that looked out at the stars. He put his bags down and changed into his best diplomatic clothes, a clean blue shirt and black pants. "Ready?" Captain Kim asked when Teeman came out. "Ready." They walked to another part of the station. Here, the halls were dimmer and the air felt different. There were soft lights everywhere instead of the bright white lights in the human section. "This is the Velthari section," Captain Kim explained. "We made it more comfortable for them." They stopped at a big door. Captain Kim pressed a button and spoke into a small device. "The human representative is here for the meeting." The door opened with a soft sound. Inside was a round room with low chairs and tables. The walls had gentle blue lights that moved like waves. And there, for the first time, Teeman saw them. 3 Velthari stood near the far wall. They were even smaller than he expected. The tallest one was maybe 4.5 feet high. Their skin was pale blue and seemed to glow softly from inside. They wore simple white robes that looked like they were made of silk, but what caught Teeman's attention was how they moved. They seemed to float rather than walk. Their movements were so smooth and careful, like dancers. "Welcome," said the tallest one. The voice was soft and musical. "I am Deho, the lead researcher." Teeman tried to bow, but remembered he should be careful about sudden movements. He bent forward slowly. "Hello, I'm Teeman. Thank you for meeting with us." Behind Deho, the other 2 Velthari whispered to each other. Their skin glowed brighter for a moment, showing quick patterns of light. Teeman knew this was how they showed emotions, but he couldn't read what the patterns meant. "Please sit," Deho said, pointing to a low chair. Teeman sat down carefully. The chair was made for someone much smaller than him. His knees came up high, and he felt like he might break it. He tried to make himself smaller. "We are happy to work with humans," Deho said. "This is a great day for both our peoples." "Yes," Teeman agreed. "We hope to learn much from each other." As they talked about the schedule and plans, Teeman noticed that one of the other Velthari kept looking at him. She was smaller than Deho, with large eyes that seemed to shine. Every time he looked her way, she quickly looked down. But then she would look back again when she thought he wasn't watching. Her skin patterns were different too. While Deho's skin stayed calm and steady, hers kept flickering with quick lights. It was like watching a nervous firefly. "This is Yuna," Deho said, noticing Teeman's attention. "She will be working with you on the cultural studies." "Hello, Yuna," Teeman said gently. Yuna's whole body lit up with bright patterns for just a second. Then she managed to speak in a voice so quiet he could barely hear it. "Hello." The third Velthari, who was introduced as Hyuk, seemed more comfortable. He asked questions about human technology and culture. But Timon found his eyes going back to Yuna. She was clearly nervous around him, but she kept watching him with curious eyes. "Tomorrow we will begin the real work," Daho said after they finished talking about schedules. "Yuna will show you our research methods. Hyuk will learn about human science." "I look forward to it," Timon said. As the meeting ended, Timon stood up carefully. He was much taller than any of them, and he could see how his size affected them. Hyuk stepped back a little. Daho stayed calm but kept his distance. But Yuna did something different. Instead of moving away, she seemed to lean forward slightly, as if she wanted to get a better look at him. Her skin patterns were moving faster now, like a light show. "Until tomorrow?" Daho said. "Until tomorrow, Timon," replied Dot as he left the room with Captain Kim. Timon could hear the three Velthari talking quickly in their own language. Their voices were like music, but excited music. He wondered what they were saying. "That went well," Captain Kim said as they walked back to the human section. "Yes," Timon agreed. But he was thinking about Yuna and the way she had looked at him. Her eyes had been wide with something that wasn't quite fear. It was more like wonder. Back in his room, Timon looked out at the stars and thought about tomorrow. He would be working closely with Yuna, learning about each other's cultures. He wondered if she would still be so nervous around him, or if she might become more comfortable. He had a feeling that the next few months were going to be very interesting. Outside his window, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, as if they were excited about what was to come. Timon woke up early the next morning. He had slept well, but he was excited about his first real work day with the Velthari. After eating breakfast in the human dining hall, he walked to the meeting room where Yuna was supposed to meet him. She was already there, sitting at a small table with papers spread out in front of her. When he entered, her skin lit up with quick patterns of light. She looked up at him and then quickly looked down at her papers. "Good morning, Yuna," Timon said softly. He remembered to speak quietly around the Velthari. "Good morning," she replied, in her musical voice. But she still didn't look at him directly. Timon sat down across from her. The chair was still too small for him, but he managed to fit. "What are we working on today?" Yuna pushed some papers toward him. Her hands were so small and delicate, like a child's hands. "We need to compare how humans and Velthari live together. Family groups, friendship, how we choose partners." "That sounds interesting," Timon said. He looked at the papers. They were covered with Velthari writing that looked like flowing water. "I can't read this." "Oh!" Yuna's skin flashed bright blue. "I'm sorry, I forgot." She touched a small device on the table. "This will translate." The writing on the papers changed to English. Timon could see it was a study about Velthari social groups. "Your families are very different from ours," he said, reading. "Yes," Yuna said. "Velthari families are large and quiet. Everyone has a place and a job. We don't argue much." "Human families argue sometimes," Timon said. "But we also laugh a lot and show our feelings openly." Yuna looked up at him for the first time that morning. "Show feelings openly?" "Yes, when we're happy, we smile big and sometimes shout with joy. When we're sad, we cry. When we're angry, we might raise our voices." Timon demonstrated by smiling widely. Yuna's eyes went wide. She had never seen such a big smile before. Velthari smiles were tiny and gentle. "That's very different. How do Velthari show feelings?" Timon asked. "Through our skin patterns," Yuna said. As she spoke, soft waves of light moved across her arms. "Happy is like this." The lights became brighter and moved faster. "Sad is like this." The lights became dim and slow. "What about when you're nervous?" Timon asked. Yuna's skin immediately started flickering with quick, bright patterns. "Like this," she said, then looked embarrassed. "I'm nervous right now." "Why are you nervous?" Yuna looked down at her hands. "You're so big and loud, and your emotions are so strong." Velthari males are small and quiet. They speak softly and move carefully. They never show big emotions. Timon felt bad. He didn't want to make her uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I can try to be quieter. No, Yuna said quickly. It's not bad. It's just different, very different. They worked together for the morning, comparing their cultures. Timon learned that Velthari males were chosen by females, not the other way around. The females picked males who were gentle and good at taking care of children. Males rarely made decisions about important things. Human males are different, Timon explained. We often make decisions together with females, and we protect our families when there's danger. Protect? Yuna asked. Yes, if someone tries to hurt our family, we fight to keep them safe. Yuna's skin patterns went crazy with lights. You fight? Only when we have to, Timon said. Most of the time we're peaceful, like you. Around noon, they took a break. Timon offered to get lunch for both of them. I'll go to the dining hall and bring back food. I can come with you, Yuna said. Are you sure? The human section might be too loud for you. I want to see it, Yuna said. Her skin showed curious patterns. They walked together to the human dining hall. Timon had to walk very slowly because Yuna's legs were so short. In the low gravity, she seemed to float beside him. When they entered the dining hall, several humans looked up and stared. They had never seen a Velthari in their section before. The room was much brighter and noisier than the Velthari section. Too loud? Timon asked. Yuna was looking around with wide eyes. It's busy. Everyone talks at the same time. That's normal for us, Timon said. We like to talk and laugh together when we eat. They got their food and sat at a table in the corner. Yuna's meal was mostly fruits and vegetables. Timon's had meat and bread. She watched him eat with curious eyes. You eat so much, she said. Humans need more food because we're bigger, Timon explained. We burn more energy. Everything about humans is bigger, Yuna said. Your food, your voices, your emotions, your bodies. Does that scare you? Yuna thought for a moment. Her skin showed slow, thinking patterns. At first, yes, but now? I think it's interesting. Velthari are always the same. Always quiet, always gentle, always careful. You're exciting. After lunch, they went back to work. But now Yuna seemed more relaxed. She asked more questions about human culture. She wanted to know about human music, art, and stories. Our music is loud and powerful, Timon said. It makes people feel strong emotions. Can you show me? Yuna asked. Timon pulled out his phone and played a song. The music was beautiful but strong, with deep voices and powerful instruments. Yuna's skin lit up like a firework display. It's so intense, she whispered. Do you like it? I think so. It makes me feel I don't know the word. Like I want to move, to do something important. That's what good music does, Timon said. It makes you feel alive. Late in the afternoon, they were moving some equipment to do an experiment. Timon picked up a heavy machine that would have taken 3 Velthari to lift. He moved it easily to the other side of the room. Yuna stared at him. You're so strong. This isn't heavy for humans, Timon said. We're built for strength. Velthari. Males can barely lift their own weight, Yuna said. They depend on machines for everything. Different species, different abilities, Timon said, but Yuna kept staring at him. Her skin patterns were showing something new, brighter colors, faster movements. She looked confused by her own reactions. Are you okay? Timon asked. Yes, I just never saw anyone so strong before. When the workday ended, Yuna walked with him partway back to the human section. Today was good, she said. I learned a lot about humans. I learned a lot about Velthari too, Timon said. Thank you for being patient with me. You're not what I expected, Yuna said. The report said humans were dangerous and violent, but you're kind. We can be dangerous. If we need to be, Timon said. But we prefer to be kind. That evening, Yuna went to her sister Nara's room. Nara was older and worked as a diplomat for the Velthari government. How was your first day with the human? Nara asked. Yuna sat on the bed, her skin still showing. Excited patterns. Strange, He's so different from our males. He's huge and strong and loud, but also gentle and kind. Are you afraid of him? No, Yuna said, surprised by her own answer. I should be, but I'm not. I'm curious. Curious about what? About everything. How he thinks, how he feels, how he lives. When he lifted that heavy machine, I felt something I'd never felt before. Nara's skin showed worried patterns. Yuna, you can't have feelings for a human. It's impossible. I know, Yuna said, but I can't help it. Everything about him is so different from what I know. So much bigger and stronger and more everything. Be careful, Nara warned. These feelings could cause problems. But Yuna was already looking forward to tomorrow. She wanted to learn more about humans, about Timan. She wanted to understand these new feelings that made her skin light up in ways she had never experienced. The next few months were going to be very interesting indeed. A week passed, and Yuna found herself looking forward to her work time with Temin each day. She was no longer nervous around him. Instead, she was excited to learn new things about human culture. Today was special. Both humans and Velthari were going to share their art and culture with each other. It was happening in the main meeting hall, which was big enough for everyone. Yuna arrived early and found a seat in the front row. She wore her best white robe, the one with silver patterns that caught the light. Her skin was glowing softly with happy patterns. When Timan entered the room, he was carrying a small box. He wore a black suit that made him look even taller and stronger than usual. Yuna's skin immediately lit up brighter when she saw him. Hello, Yuna, he said, sitting in the chair next to her. Are you ready for the presentations? Yes, she said. What's in the box? A surprise? Timan said with a smile. Something from Earth, the Velthari went first. Deho stood up and began to show their art. It was beautiful, soft lights that moved like water, gentle music that sounded like wind through trees, and poetry that felt like dreams. All the humans watched quietly. The Velthari art was peaceful and calm. It made everyone feel relaxed and happy. Very beautiful, Timan whispered to Yuna. Thank you, she whispered back. Your turn now. Timan stood up and walked to the front. He looked big and strong compared to all the delicate Velthari in the room. Some of them moved back a little, but Yuna leaned forward. Today I want to share something about human emotions, Timan said. We feel things very deeply. Our art shows this. He opened his box and took out a small device. This is human music. It's different from yours, but it shows who we are. The music started. It was nothing like the gentle Velthari sounds. It was powerful and strong, with deep voices and instruments that seemed to shake the room. The words were about love and courage and fighting for what you believe in. Yuna's skin went wild with light patterns. The music made her feel things she had never felt before. It was like fire running through her body. She wanted to move, to dance, to do something big and important. Around her, the other Velthari looked shocked. Some looked scared. But Yuna couldn't look away from Timan. He was moving slightly to the music, his eyes closed, feeling every note. When the music ended, the room was quiet for a long moment. That was intense, Deho said finally. Human emotions are intense, Timan agreed. We don't hide our feelings. We let them out through our art, our music, our words. It's so different from us, said another Velthari. So loud and powerful. Different doesn't mean bad, Timan said gently. It just means we have different ways of showing who we are. Next, Timan read a human poem. It was about a man who loved a woman so much he would fight the whole world to protect her. The words were full of passion and strength. Yuna's skin was now showing patterns she had never seen before. Bright colors swirled across her arms and face. She felt dizzy with new emotions. Are you okay? Timan asked when he sat back down. Yes, Yuna said, but her voice was shaky. Your poetry is so strong? Too strong? No, it's just... I've never heard anything like it. It makes me feel... What? I don't know the word. Like I want to be brave? Like I want to feel things deeply too. After the presentations, there was a break. Yuna walked out to the observation deck to get some air. The big windows showed the stars and the empty space around the station. Timon found her there a few minutes later. "The view is beautiful," he said. "Yes," Yuna agreed. She was still feeling strange from the music and poetry. "Timon, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do all humans feel emotions as strongly as your art shows?" Timon thought about this. "Most of us do. When we love someone, we love them with everything we have. When we're happy, we feel like we could fly. When we're sad, it feels like the world is ending." "That sounds exhausting." "Sometimes it is. But it also makes life exciting. It makes everything matter more." Yuna looked at him. "Valthari don't feel like that. We feel things, but gently. Quietly, our emotions are like soft rain. Yours are like storms. Which do you prefer?" Yuna's skin showed thinking patterns. "I used to think soft rain was better, but now I think maybe storms are more interesting." Just then, an alarm started beeping. The lights in the hallway turned red. A voice came over the speaker. "Emergency in Section C, all personnel, please. Move to safe areas. What's happening?" Yuna asked, her skin showing scared patterns. "I don't know," Timon said. "But we need to get you to safety." They ran toward the emergency exits. Other people were running too. Yuna was much slower than Timon because her legs were short, but he stayed with her. When they reached Section C, they could see the problem. One of the gravity generators had broken. It was sparking and smoking. Worse, 3 Velthari were trapped on the other side of the broken machine. They couldn't get out because the heavy metal pieces were blocking their way. "We need to move." "That debris," Captain Kim said when he arrived. "But it's too heavy. We'll need special equipment." "That will take too long," Timon said. "Those Velthari need help now." Without waiting for orders, Timon ran toward the broken generator. The sparks were dangerous, but he didn't care. He grabbed the biggest piece of metal, something that would have taken 5 humans to lift normally, and moved it aside. "Timon, be careful," Yuna shouted. He didn't stop. One by one, he moved the heavy pieces of debris. His shirt was getting torn and dirty, but he kept working. When sparks flew near him, he just ignored them. The 3 trapped Velthari were able to escape. They ran to safety, their skin showing grateful patterns. "Is everyone okay?" Timon asked, breathing hard. "Yes, thanks to you," Captain Kim said. "That was brave," Yuna stared at Timon. His clothes were dirty and torn. There was a small cut on his arm from the metal, but he looked strong and powerful, like a hero from the stories. "You saved them," she said. "Anyone would have done the same," Timon said. "No," Yuna said firmly. "Velthari males couldn't have moved those pieces. They would have waited for machines to help, but you acted right away. You didn't think about danger? I couldn't just watch them be trapped." Yuna's skin was showing the brightest patterns Timon had ever seen. Colors he didn't even know existed swirled across her face and arms. She looked amazed and excited and something else he couldn't name. "You're so different from us," she whispered. That night, Yuna couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about everything that had happened. The powerful music, the passionate poetry, and then watching Timon save those people without thinking about his own safety. She had never seen anyone act so quickly and decisively. Velthari males would have talked about the problem, made plans, waited for the right equipment. But Timon had just acted. He had seen people in danger and immediately done something about it. She went to find her sister Nara. "I need to talk to you," she said. "It's late," Nara said. "Are you okay?" "I think I'm falling in love with the human," Yuna said. Nara's skin showed shocked patterns. "Yuna, that's impossible. I know it should be impossible. But I can't stop thinking about him. The way he moves, the way he feels things so deeply, the way he protected those people today. He's nothing like our males." "That's exactly the problem," Nara said. "He's too different. Too big, too strong, too intense." "But what if different is good?" Yuna asked. "What if I don't want someone small and quiet? What if I want someone who makes me feel like his music makes me feel?" Nara looked worried. "These feelings could cause big problems, Yuna, for both of you." "I know," Yuna said. but I can't help it. When I look at him, I feel things I've never felt before, strong things, exciting things. She looked out the window at the stars. Maybe it's time for something new. The next morning, Yuna couldn't focus on her work. She kept thinking about what she had told her sister the night before. She was falling in love with Timan, and she didn't know what to do about it. When Timan arrived at their workroom, he looked tired. "Good morning, Yuna," he said. "Good morning. Are you okay? You look like you didn't sleep well." "I was thinking about yesterday," Timan said, sitting down. "About the emergency. I hope I didn't scare you when I moved all that metal." "Scare? Me?" Yuna's skin showed surprised patterns. "You saved those people. You were amazing." "I just did what needed to be done. That's what makes you different," Yuna said. She was looking at him with bright, curious eyes. Velthari males would never do something like that. What would they do? They would call for help and wait. They would make plans and use machines. They would be careful and safe. Yuna's skin showed thinking patterns. But sometimes being careful isn't enough. Timan studied her face. "You sound like you're changing your mind about something." "Maybe I am," Yuna said softly. They worked together all morning, but there was something different in the air. Yuna kept asking questions about human relationships and families. She wanted to know how human men and women live together. "Do human males protect their families?" she asked. "Yes, always," Timan said. "It's one of the most important things we do." "Even if it's dangerous?" "Especially if it's dangerous. We would rather get hurt ourselves than let someone hurt the people we love." Yuna's skin lit up with beautiful patterns. "Velthari males aren't like that. They're gentle and kind, but they're not ... protective. Different cultures," Timan said. "Neither way is wrong. But what if I want someone who would protect me?" Yuna asked quietly. Timan looked at her carefully. "Yuna, are you okay? You seem different today." "I'm fine," she said quickly. "Let's keep working." At lunchtime, they went to the human dining hall again. Yuna was getting used to the noise and brightness. She even smiled when some humans said hello to her. "You're becoming popular," Timan said. "The humans are nice," Yuna said. "Loud, but nice." While they were eating, Timan's friend Himan came over to their table. Himan was another human diplomat, shorter than Timan, but still much bigger than any Velthari. "Hello, Yuna," Himan said, with a friendly smile. "How are you enjoying working with this big guy?" "Big guy?" Yuna asked. "That's what we call Timan sometimes," Himan explained. "He's one of the strongest humans on the station." Yuna looked at Timan with new interest. "You're strong even for a human?" "Himan likes to exaggerate," Timan said, looking embarrassed. "No, I don't," Himan said, sitting down. "Remember when you carried those 3 heavy boxes by yourself last week? It took 4 of us to move them later." Yuna's skin started showing excited patterns again. She was learning that Timan wasn't just big compared to Velthari. He was big and strong even compared to other humans. "And he's always helping people," Himan continued. "Last month he stayed up all night helping repair the water system when it broke." "Himan, stop," Timan said, but he was smiling. "I'm just telling the truth," Himan said. Then he looked more serious. "You know, Timan talks about you a lot." "He does?" Yuna asked, her skin showing surprised patterns. "Himan," Timan warned. "What does he say?" Yuna asked. Himan grinned. "He says you're the smartest person he's ever worked with. And the most beautiful." Timan's face turned red. "I'm going to kill you." He told Himan, but Yuna's skin was now glowing so brightly that other people in the dining hall started looking at them. "You think I'm beautiful?" she asked Himan. Yes," Timan said quietly. "Very beautiful." Yuna had never heard a male say that to her before. Velthari males were too shy to give compliments like that. Her whole body felt warm. "I think you're beautiful too," she said, then looked surprised at her own words. Himan looked back and forth between them. "Oh," he said, "I see what's happening here." "Nothing is happening," Timan said quickly. "Right," Himan said with a knowing smile. "Well, I should go. You two have fun." After Himan left, Timan and Yuna sat in awkward silence for a moment. "I'm sorry about that," Timan said. Hyman doesn't know when to stop talking. It's okay, Yuna said. I liked hearing those things. Yuna, I need to ask you something, Timan said seriously. Are you feeling confused about anything lately? Yuna looked down at her hands. Why do you ask? Because I'm feeling confused, Timan admitted. About you. What kind of confused? Timan took a deep breath. I think I'm starting to have feelings for you. But I know that's wrong. We're too different. Yuna's skin exploded with light patterns. Happy patterns, excited patterns, nervous patterns all at once. You have feelings for me? Yes, but I shouldn't. You're Velthari and I'm human. It's impossible. What? If I have feelings for you too? Yuna asked quietly. Timan stared at her. Do you? I think so. I don't understand them, but yes. When I see you, my skin does things it's never done before. When you saved those people yesterday, I felt ... And when you carried all that heavy equipment, I felt... She paused, looking for the right word. Impressed, attracted. This is a problem, Timan said. Why? Because I could hurt you. I'm so much bigger and stronger than you. And our cultures are so different. Maybe different isn't bad, Yuna said. Maybe I don't want someone like the males of my species. What do you want? Yuna's skin showed brave patterns. I want someone who makes me feel excited, someone who protects people, someone who feels things deeply and isn't afraid to show it. Someone like me, yes, someone exactly like you. That afternoon, they tried to work but couldn't concentrate. They kept looking at each other and then looking away. The air felt electric between them. This is crazy, Timan said finally. I know, Yuna agreed. But I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you either. They were sitting close together, looking at some papers. Timan could smell her skin. It smelled like flowers and starlight. Yuna could feel the warmth coming from his body. Timan, she said softly. Yes? What happens now? I don't know, he said honestly. I've never felt like this about anyone before, human or alien. Me neither. They looked at each other for a long moment. Yuna's skin was showing the most beautiful patterns Timan had ever seen. Soft blues and silvers that moved like water. You're amazing, he whispered. So are you, she whispered back. Slowly, carefully, Timan reached out and touched her hand. Her skin was soft and warm and seemed to glow brighter where he touched it. Is this okay? He asked. Yes, she said, her voice barely audible. They sat like that for several minutes, just holding hands. It was the first time either of them had touched someone from another species. It felt strange and wonderful and a little scary. What are we doing? Yuna asked. I don't know, Timan said. But I don't want to stop. Me neither. That evening, Yuna went to see Nara again. I held hands with him, she said. Yuna! Nara's skin showed shocked patterns. What were you thinking? I was thinking that I've never felt anything like this before. When he touches me, my whole body lights up. Not just my skin, everything. This is dangerous, Nara said. What if someone sees you? What if the diplomats find out? I don't care, Yuna said. For the first time in my life, I feel truly alive. But he's so different from us, so big and strong and intense. That's what I like about him, Yuna said. I'm tired of small and gentle and quiet. I want big and strong and passionate. Nara looked worried. I hope you know what you're doing. I don't, Yuna admitted, but I'm going to find out. Meanwhile, Timan was lying on his bed staring at the ceiling. He could still feel the softness of Yuna's skin under his fingers. He had never touched anything so delicate and beautiful. He was falling in love with an alien. It should have been impossible. But somehow, it felt like the most natural thing. In the world, tomorrow he would see her again. And maybe, just maybe, they could figure out how to make this work. The next few days were both wonderful and difficult for Yuna and Timan. They worked together every day, but now everything felt different. They were more careful around each other, but also more aware of every look and touch. Yuna found herself making excuses to spend more time with Timan. She would ask him to help her reach high shelves, even though she could use a stepladder. She would sit closer to him when they looked at papers together. Every time their hands accidentally touched, her skin would light up with happy patterns. Timon was trying to be careful. He didn't want to hurt her or make her uncomfortable, but he couldn't stop looking at her. The way she moved was so graceful, like dancing. When she concentrated on work, she would bite her lower lip in a way that made his heart beat faster. On Thursday morning, Yuna was working with some chemicals in their lab. She was trying to mix two liquids together to create a new compound for their research. "Be careful with that," Timon said, watching her. "Those chemicals can be dangerous." "I know what I'm doing," Yuna said. She was focused on her work and didn't notice that one of the containers was cracked as she poured the liquid. The container broke. The chemicals spilled across the table and splashed onto her arm. Yuna cried out in pain and dropped the broken glass. "Yuna!" Timon jumped up from his chair. The chemicals were burning her skin. Her arm was turning red and she was shaking from the pain. The chemical was dangerous to Velthari's skin. Without thinking, Timon scooped her up in his arms. She was so light that it felt like picking up a child. He ran toward the medical bay, carrying her carefully. "It hurts," Yuna said, tears in her eyes. "I know, we're almost there," Timon said. His voice was calm, but his heart was racing. Yuna had never been carried by anyone before. Velthari males were too small to carry females. But in Timon's arms she felt safe despite the pain. He was so strong and warm, and he held her like she was something precious. The medical bay had both human and Velthari doctors. Dr. Su, the Velthari doctor, quickly cleaned Yuna's arm and put medicine on the burn. "She'd be fine," Dr. Su said. "But she needs to rest for a few hours." "Can I stay with her?" Timon asked. "Of course," the doctor said. "She might feel better with a friend here." They gave Yuna a bed in a quiet room. Timon sat in a chair next to her. Her arm was bandaged and she looked tired. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Better. Thank you for helping me. I'm sorry I didn't stop you from using that broken container. I should have seen it was cracked." "It's not your fault," Yuna said. "I was being careless." "I was so scared when I saw you get hurt," Timon said quietly. "Were you?" "Yes, I couldn't stand the thought of you being in pain." Yuna's skin showed soft, warm patterns. "No one has ever worried about me like that before." "What do you mean?" "Velthari males are kind, but they don't get scared when females are hurt. They stay calm and call for help." "They don't react." "I couldn't help reacting," Tedden said. "When I care about someone, I can't just stay calm. You care about me?" "Very much." Yuna reached out with her good hand and touched his fingers. "I care about you too." They sat in comfortable silence for a while. The medicine was making Yuna sleepy, but she didn't want to let go of Timon's hand. "Timon," she said softly. "Yes? What are we doing? This ... feeling between us, what does it mean?" Timon thought for a moment. "I think it means we're falling in love. Is that possible, between a human and a Velthari?" "I don't know if it's possible, but it's happening. Are you scared?" Yuna asked. "Terrified," Timon admitted. "But not of you. I'm scared of hurting you. I'm scared of what other people will think. I'm scared that this can't work. What if it can work?" "What do you mean?" Yuna's skin showed brave patterns. "What if we're the first? What if we can figure out how to love someone completely different from us?" "Do you want to try?" "Yes," Yuna said without hesitation. "I've never felt anything like this before. You make me feel ... alive, strong, like I could do anything." "You make me feel gentle," Timon said. "When I'm with you, I want to be careful and soft, but I also want to protect you from everything." "I like that you want to protect me." "Even though Velthari males don't do that?" "Especially because they don't do that," Yuna said. "I never knew I wanted to be protected until I met you." As the afternoon went on, they talked about everything. Timon told her about growing up on Earth, about his family and his dreams. Yuna told him about life on the Velthari homeworld, about her research and her hopes for the future. "Human relationships sound so intense," Yuna said. "They can be. When humans love someone, we love them completely. We would do anything for them." "Anything?" "Anything," Timon confirmed. "We would fight." For them, work for them, even die for them if we had to. Yuna's skin showed amazed patterns. Velthari love is different. It's quiet and gentle and safe. Which do you prefer? Yours, Yuna said immediately. I want someone who would fight for me. Someone who loves me so much it changes everything. That's a big risk, Timon said. Human love can be wonderful, but it can also be overwhelming. I want to be overwhelmed. As evening came, Yuna was feeling much better. The burn on her arm was healing and the pain was almost gone. But she didn't want to leave the medical bay because that would mean leaving Timon. I should go back to my room, she said finally. I'll walk you there, Timon offered. They walked slowly through the quiet halls. Most people were at dinner, so they were alone. When they reached Yuna's door, they both stopped. Thank you for taking care of me today, Yuna said. Thank you for letting me. They stood looking at each other. The hall was dimly lit, and Yuna's skin was glowing softly in the darkness. She looked beautiful and fragile and brave all at the same time. Yuna, Timon said quietly. Yes? May I kiss you? Yuna's entire body lit up like a star. Yes. Timon leaned down carefully. He was so much taller that he had to bend far down to reach her. Yuna stood on her toes and tilted her face up. Their first kiss was gentle and careful. Timon's lips were warm and soft. Yuna had never felt anything like it. Her skin exploded with colors, blues and silvers and golds that painted the hallway with light. When they separated, they were both breathing hard. Wow, Timon whispered. Is that what human kissing is like? Yuna asked. No, Timon said. That was better than any kiss I've ever had? Really? Really, you're amazing, Yuna. Her skin continued to glow as she smiled up at him. So are you. What happens now? Timon asked. I don't know, Yuna said, but I want to find out. Together? Together. That night, Yuna lay in her bed, with her skin still glowing softly. She touched her lips where Timon had kissed her. Everything felt different now. She felt different. She was in love with a human. It was crazy and impossible and wonderful. She didn't know what would happen tomorrow, but she didn't care. For the first time in her life, she was living for today. Down the hall, Timon was having the same thoughts. He had kissed an alien, and it felt like the most natural thing in the world. Yuna was everything he had never known he wanted. Smart and beautiful and brave and gentle. They were crossing a line that had never been crossed before. But maybe some lines were meant to be crossed. Maybe love was bigger than species and cultures and differences. Maybe they could make this work. They were going to try. 2 weeks had passed since Timon and Yuna's first kiss. They had been meeting secretly in quiet corners of the station, talking and learning about each other. Their love was growing stronger every day, but they knew they couldn't hide it forever. The diplomatic mission was ending soon. Both the humans and Velthari would return to their homeworlds. The thought of being separated made both Timon and Yuna feel sick with worry. What will happen to us? Yuna asked as they sat together in the observation deck late one night. I don't know, Timon said honestly, but I can't imagine going back to Earth without you. I can't imagine living without you either, Yuna said. Her skin was showing sad, worried patterns. You've changed everything for me. How? Before I met you, I thought I knew what I wanted. A quiet life with a gentle Velthari male. Small emotions. Safe choices. Yuna looked out at the stars. But now I know that wasn't really living. That was just existing. You've changed me too, Timon said. You've made me want to be better. Gentler but still strong. You've shown me that love doesn't have to be just one way. They held hands in the darkness, both thinking about the future. Neither wanted to say goodbye. The next morning, Captain Kim called Timon to his office. Sit down, the captain said. We need to talk. Timon's heart started beating fast. Did the captain know about him and Yuna? The mission has been more successful than we hoped, Captain Kim said. Both species have learned a lot from each other. The governments want to continue working together. That's good news, Timon said carefully. Yes, and there's more. We've received a proposal from the Velthari government. They want to set up permanent cultural exchange programs. Humans and Velthari working together on different projects. Teeman tried not to look too excited. What kind of projects? Science, art, diplomacy. They think our species can help each other grow, Captain Kim smiled. And they specifically requested that you be part of the program. Me? Yes, apparently one of their researchers wrote a very impressive report about human culture. She recommended you as the best example of human character and abilities. Teeman's heart jumped. Yuna had written a report about him. What would this job involve? He asked. You would travel between human and Velthari worlds, helping set up new programs. Teaching them about us, learning about them, it's a big responsibility. I accept, Teeman said immediately. Captain Kim laughed. Don't you want to know about the pay or the details? I trust you. This is what I want to do. That afternoon, Teeman found Yuna in their workroom. She was packing up her research papers. Getting ready to leave the station. I heard about your report, he said. Yuna's skin showed embarrassed patterns. You did? Captain Kim told me. Thank you for recommending me for the exchange program. You deserved it. You're the best human I know. Yuna looked sad. At least now you'll get to visit Velthari world sometimes. Maybe we'll see each other again? Actually, Teeman said, sitting down next to her, I was hoping we could see each other a lot more than that. What do you mean? The exchange program needs a Velthari representative too. Someone to help humans understand your culture. Yuna's skin started showing hopeful patterns. Are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that we apply to be partners in the program. Official partners. Teeman, that would mean everyone would know about us. About our relationship. I know. Are you ready for that? Yuna thought for a moment. Her skin showed thinking patterns, then brave patterns. Yes, I'm tired of hiding. I love you, and I don't care who knows it. Even if some people don't approve? Especially. Then, maybe it's time for both our species to learn that love doesn't have to follow old rules. That evening, they went together to meet with Captain Kim and Daeho. Both leaders looked surprised to see them arrive together, holding hands. We have a proposal, Teeman said. We can see that, Daeho said, looking at their joined hands. His skin showed curious patterns. We want to be the team leaders for the cultural exchange program, Yuna said. Together. Together? Captain Kim asked. You mean as colleagues? No, Yuna said, her skin glowing brighter. As partners in every way. The two leaders looked at each other. Captain Kim spoke first. This is ... unexpected. But not necessarily bad, Daeho added. Tell us more. For the next hour, Teeman and Yuna explained their relationship. They talked about what they had learned from each other, how their love had helped them understand both cultures better. I was afraid of humans before, Yuna said. I thought they were too big, too loud, too intense. But Teeman showed me that intensity can be beautiful, that strength can be gentle, that big emotions make life more meaningful. And Yuna taught me that there's strength in gentleness, Teeman said. That being careful doesn't mean being weak. She showed me how to be passionate but also thoughtful. What you're talking about, Captain Kim said slowly, is not just a working relationship. You're talking about being the first official interspecies couple. Yes, they said together. Daeho's skin showed thoughtful patterns. This could cause problems. Many Velthari still think humans are too different from us. And many humans think relationships should stay within our own species, Captain Kim added. But that's exactly why this could work, Yuna said. We're proof that the differences don't matter, that love is bigger than species. If we can love each other, Teeman said, then our peoples can work together too. The two leaders talked quietly for several minutes. Finally, Captain Kim spoke. The idea has merit, he said. If you two can make this work, it would show both species that cooperation is possible. But you would be under a lot of pressure, Daeho warned. Everyone would be watching you, judging you. We're ready for that, Yuna said. Are you sure? Teeman and Yuna looked at each other. They saw love and determination in each other's eyes. We're sure, Teeman said. 1 month later, Teeman and Yuna stood together on the bridge of a new ship. They were traveling to their first assignment, helping set up a research station where humans and Velthari would work side by side. Yuna was wearing a beautiful dress that combined human and Velthari styles. Her skin was glowing with happiness patterns. Timon wore a formal uniform, but he had added a small pin with Velthari designs. "Ready for our first mission together?" Timon asked. "Ready," Yuna said. "Are you nervous?" "A little, but excited." "Too. Me too." As they watched the stars pass by, they thought about how much their lives had changed. 3 months ago, they were strangers from different worlds. Now they were partners in love and work, building bridges between their peoples. "Do you think we can really make this work?" Yuna asked. "Not just us, but humans and Velthari together?" "I think if we can fall in love," Timon said, "anything is possible." Yuna's skin lit up with the brightest, most beautiful patterns Timon had ever seen. She stood on her toes and he bent down and they kissed while the stars watched. They were different species, from different worlds with different cultures, but they had found something that was the same across all those differences: love and love. They had learned was the strongest force in the universe. It was bigger than fear, bigger than tradition, bigger than the space between worlds. It was big enough to change everything. Behind them, human and Velthari crew members worked together, preparing for their mission. They had learned from Timon and Yuna that differences could be strengths. That understanding could grow from respect. The future was uncertain, but it was bright with possibility. And it all started with a whisper. "This isn't like our alien males. It's huge." But now Yuna knew that sometimes huge was exactly what you needed. Sometimes huge was perfect.